Dan Larson here, and I'm at the photo booth with a bunch of mail. For those of you who have never seen one of our Dan in the photo booth picking up mail videos, that's precisely what this is. Dan, me, who got the mail from the P.O. box, and this is the stuff that people sent in to the address that is either on screen right now or soon will be, just because, you know, they wanted to. You wanted to. I really appreciate it. I love seeing what comes in, especially stuff that I don't own and or stuff that I straight up have never seen before. I love it all. I love you all. I love action figures. I love producer Greg. On with the show. Up first, we got David from American Fork, Utah. David is Shao Catmaster. That's Shao_cat_master on Instagram. XIAO for Shao Catmaster, just the way they sound. David sent in a bunch of various Gashapon. That's what all these are like, you know, the Japanese quarter machine sort of things. But they have much cooler stuff over there than we have over here. Some examples of what is in these. We've got tiny little RX-78 Gundam and tiny little Black Vanguard XM02 from Gundam F91. And then, so that's two that were in a couple here that I already opened. And then also this Rockruff, sleeping, adorable little Rockruff Pokemon. It's actually from a set of Pokemon Gashapon figures, and there might actually be another one or two here. Yeah, there's this one here. It's oh no, this is from a different set, because that set is specifically sleeping Pokemon. So I don't know what this one is. Let's see if I can find out. This one is I don't know, Tea Time. This is Tea Time Pokemons. So it's Pokemons in teacups, and here we have, I believe, that is Squirtle. If my limited Pokemon knowledge doesn't fail me. I'm sure if I'm wrong, somebody will let me know. Hang on. There it is. So there you go. Adorable. So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff here. We even got like, there's a Godzilla here. This is some assembly required. That looks like it's just classical Godzilla. I don't know my Godzillas very well. Actually hate to say it, I've seen more American Godzilla in my lifetime than I've seen actual Japanese Godzilla. But that, to me, that looks like that's just classic old Godzilla. Not the earliest one, but not the latest one either. And there's some parts in here. Put together Godzilla. So you get the idea. But that's cool. I love having stuff like this in all different scales. I love having a giant Godzilla. I like having a tiny little Godzilla. So we got Gundam, so much Gundam. And I gotta say, some of these, like, I put together a couple of these, easy one. There's one in here that I started to open, and I saw how many parts were in this thing, and I was like, oh man, this is gonna take some time. This is a bit of a challenge here. But they look great, and they're incredibly posable, and thank you very much to David for sending those in. Make sure you're following me on Instagram at toygalaxy. I'll definitely be posting pictures of all of these as I assemble them and go through them, because they are too adorable not to share. All right, let me just get some of this stuff out of the way here. All right, cool. Up next is Kevin from Elizabethtown, Kentucky. Kevin sent in the Toy Box Captain America, which if you've followed this channel for any amount of time, you know that I am a very big fan of the Toy Box line. Also a very big fan of Captain America, so this is a match made in heaven for me. This figure is plagued a little bit by loose neck, but otherwise... I honestly like this figure more than a lot of the Marvel Legends pieces that have been released. It's not obviously as posable. He doesn't have any ab crunch. But it's just such a fun figure. I love the style. I love the design. We've done a couple of videos now at this point of different toy box figures. So, and I think my attitudes about these are well established. Kevin also sent in the amazingly awful famous covers. Doctor Doom. This was a line that I can't remember if it was late 90s or early 2000s. kind of trying to take in that sort of 8-inch scale, 9-inch scale, might even be 10-inch scale. But that's sort of like, you know, cloth outfit, Mego kind of deluxe action figure kind of thing. And some work better than others. They all have these just awful oven mitt style hands. And this one in particular is actually like the armor, everything about it is sort of a sleeve, like a gross, sticky at this point, you know, sort of rubber sleeve that is just fit over the figure. But there is actually, you know, a jointed figure underneath here. Oh, look, you can actually see where it's splitting here. Not splitting, it's just where this sort of rubbery sleeves meet. And like, you know, this hood is just not good. So there you go. That's a little bit better. You know, it's an ill-fitting hood. Once you take that off, it's actually not that bad. Actually, I want to see if this... there it is. So yeah, so there's actually a body under here. And, you know, obviously they're going to use the same body for as many of those figures as they can. But I actually own a couple of these Famous Covers figures, and not like as a joke, because I actually like them. I have Thor, I have Captain America, I have Storm. There are lots that are just bad. Daredevil's not good. This one is on that line of it's so bad it's good. Again, you know, just like right now, looking at it like this without his cape and hood on, it's actually not that bad. It's not a bad sort of like Doom drone at this scale, especially if I can get the sleeve back on. But yeah, I may have to run these through some warm water and dish soap just to get a little bit of that stickiness off of it. But that was great, and I was very happy, Kevin, when I saw that was in the box, because that's a piece that I just I hadn't seen one in person in a really long time, and so I had forgotten just where on that line of like good and bad it actually fell. So I was very, very pleased to see that is better than I remember, and that's really, really cool. Up next is Allison, who I met Allison earlier this year. Oh my gosh, I almost said last year at Awesome Con, and he's already been super generous and sent me a third-party Bruticus figure, which is just amazing, and it's way more complicated than I can possibly deal with, because I never transform the thing. It's too much. There's too many parts, but it's gorgeous. But he sent two things. One, he sent a Christmas card, and that's really great, and I appreciate that. And happy holidays to you as well. And then also this Marvel Legends, the new shiny winged Archangel, who I have the original release. Although actually, now that I think about it, not sure which came out first. I think, did the Comic-Con one come out first? Anyway, I have the regular, I think it was a Disney Store exclusive release. This one here that has the non-shiny wings and also has the more metallic finish on the body. And then, of course, it only came with one head. And this new figure has shiny wings, different paint scheme, and comes with an assortment of heads. There's the death mask, the regular head, the Archangel, the... I just forgot his name. His regular head unmasked, and then I don't really know what this head is supposed to be from. I must have missed. I've stopped following at some point. I don't know if that's more of like a possessed, I don't know, good and evil sort of thing. But the big key here is the shiny metallic wings, and those previously were only Warren Worthington. Name just escaped me for a second there. The shiny metallic wings are just what it's all about, and I know Allison had mentioned in his messages to me that he did prefer this coloring and that it was a bit more, you know, comic book accurate. I read X Factor, and I followed the whole Simonson era and all the death stuff, and I don't really have a preference here. I think he's right. This is more accurate, but I didn't hate this. And in fact, this I've always thought was one of the best Marvel Legends figures still that Hasbro has produced. So much better than the Toy Biz version of Archangel. But this is just a really, really great figure. It still is. This is the kind of thing that Hasbro should do with re-releases, where it's a high-demand figure. A lot of people missed it. Nobody can afford that SDCC X-Force 3-pack, especially for the shiny wings. And this is the way to do it. You know, re-release it, put in some bonus stuff so that people who do own the previous figure are still getting some value out of that money that they're spending. It's a really, really great figure, and I genuinely appreciate that Allison that sent that in for me. Thank you. Thank you very much. Joel Carroll here. Let me get some guys out of the way here. Joel Carroll is another one who's been very friendly to the show here, sending me all kinds of fun stuff. He previously, so this is a Gundam illustration, and unfortunately, it did get wet in shipping. Obviously, postcards don't come with like protection or anything, no sleeve, so this one did get a little wet. But previously, Joel had sent in this really fantastic Boba Fett, and funny enough, I had actually commissioned Joel back in 2016 for this tiny guy king. And Joel, if you go check out his website, joelcarroll.com here. Joel is a fantastic artist. If you're not already, please follow him on Instagram. He's always doing, he has original stuff, but he's always doing, fun comic books and toy-related items. Commission him. And he's even got a shirt link. It's probably off of his Twitter, off of his Instagram. Make sure you follow that and go check out some of the cool stuff that he has on sale, for sale. Speaking of Guy King, we're going to transition over here to... this is also from Joel. Joel also sent me in a box of stuff. So we've got the Revoltech face open Guy King, which makes a nice pair with the Revoltech regular Guy King that I already have. I'll be honest, until Joel sent this in, I didn't know what this was. I'd seen it before. I'd seen this styling. I thought maybe it was like evil Guy King or something. Just, it looks bad. This is a good guy, this is a bad guy. But I did look it up and found it. I actually watched the episode, at least one episode that this was featured in, to see that it was the sort of modern, reinterpreted sort of face-off version. That's always been a part of the character. It's always been one of the powers. Although I don't know for sure that the face ever actually came off on the dragon skull itself. Either way, I was like, oh, okay, it's just sort of a powered up version of the regular one. That's even cooler, although I may still pose it as evil Gundam Guy King. That's a really fantastic piece. Joel also sent in these tiny Gundams, which I don't know. This is a GM. I don't know what series this is from. I'm going to guess. I don't know. Char's Counterattack? I'm not sure. And then this one, I'm not sure what this one's from either. Probably could have looked it up beforehand. But still, those are cool. Very posable. All scales of Gundam, all types of Gundams. I'm down. I love it all. It's all good stuff. And then the last piece that Joel sent in here was the Fracture, who is part of the, I don't know if this is technically part of the movie line or the classics line where that's coming from. I believe the body is Mirage at some point. And when I opened the box, it was in the actual car mode, so I knew that it had the spoiler on the front there, whatever it's called on a race car when it's the front piece. But when I got it into robot mode, I was like, oh no, it doesn't have a head. Joel, what are you doing to me here? But good news, I actually already did have Fracture, and this one has a head, but is missing the actual front piece there. So I can kit bash together one whole Fracture, and that's cool because this is in scale, sort of, with the new Action Toys GoBots figures, the Machine Robo line. It's probably a little big for those, but at the very least, until they get to Crasher, at least I can use that as Crasher. It's definitely bigger than Psykill, but it's fine. Nobody's gonna complain. Taking a look at my collection. Anyway, Joel, thank you very much for sending all that stuff in. That's very fantastic stuff. Richard from Adelaide, South Australia. I just lost the stand. Hang on. Sent in this vintage Kenner Boba Fett. This is officially Kenner Boba Fett number 405 in the Boba Sett. And this is a particularly special one. They're all special. I love them all. They all have a story. Some have a more documented story than others do. This guy's beat. He is loved. He's weathered. And he's from Australia, which always blows my mind that there are pieces that are in this collection of now 405 Boba Fett figures that are literally from all over the planet and have seen things and places that I have never seen or been to and may never get to in my life. It blows my mind. And this was a piece where Richard reached out to me and asked if I was interested in his Boba Fett. And this is actually his from when he was a kid. And I'm always hesitant. If people want to give me figures, I'm not going to say no, especially if it's Boba Fett. But I'm never trying to get, people's like childhood things because I know how important they are to me. And I would never want to take that sort of thing away from somebody. But if you're offering, I'm going to say yes. And so Richard was offering. So he actually, as part of this package, he actually included, some photographs of his collection from, when he was a kid. And I know it's a little hard to make out here on screen, but I just wanted to make sure you saw that he did send these photos in. There's Boba Fett right there. There's Australia of him, playing with these toys as a kid outside. And that's, it's just, it's one of those things that I can't, I can't even, the provenance for this figure is amazing, but to know that this was, figures that, like, this is in action. This is Instagram, 30 years ago. This is amazing. So I can't, I know I end up at a loss here how to say thank you for this stuff pretty much every single time, every single piece that gets sent in here. But this is generally a thing where I don't even know how to say thank you for something like this. So other than just saying thanks, thank you. Up next is Jeter family from Amston, Connecticut. The Jeter family, all of them, the entire family sent in some, these are some art cards, barrel full of monkeys. I spent a few minutes trying to line these up, but I'm not really sure. I'm guessing they do line up somewhere, but I'm not sure if they're supposed to, or if they're just more of like a decorative sort of postcard kind of thing. So those are cool. And they, there was the intent to also contribute to the Boba Fett, but they didn't have a vintage Kenner piece. So they wanted to send something that was, Boba Fett related anyway. So we've got the, Saga collection. I think this is from 2006. Boba Fett. I think this rangefinder is I don't think it actually pivots. Yeah, I'm not going to try. So that's a cool piece. So thank you very much for sending those in, the cards and the figure. And then last up, we have Dan from Fair Oaks, California. He is Danbo Shinobi on Instagram. He's he's a cosplayer, and that's Danbo, DANBO _SHINOBI, just like the ninja. Danbo Shinobi. He's a cosplayer, collector, all that stuff's on his Instagram, and he sent in quite a few things as well. We're going to start off with the Marvel Legends Walgreens exclusive Human Torch figure. There we go. I do already have this figure, so I am going to make sure that I believe one of my pals, I believe his son, still needs the Human Torch figure. So I'm going to make sure that gets into his collection. And then also we've got the Marvel Legends Wolverine on the motorcycle. This piece, it did come in the package, but I was too impatient. I couldn't wait. I had to open this thing up. This is actually the only one of the vehicle pieces from the modern releases that I've actually had a chance to take a look at out of the package. I didn't buy the Ghost Rider. I didn't buy the Black Widow, although I did see that she was recently like $9 on Amazon. This was the first opportunity I had to really take a look at this motorcycle, see how well it's made, see, the scale and all that stuff. I don't love how his, hands sort of fit on the handlebars here, but it is pretty cool to have the t-shirted tank top Wolverine figure. And the two different heads. Obviously, he comes with the patch head and then just the scowling Wolverine head. And, of course, the bare-handed, wonky claws that I'm going to have to spend some time straightening those out. But this is a piece this is one of those pieces that I didn't buy it for myself. And I probably, I might have bought it down the road somewhere. So it's really, I really appreciate that.